With this whole Josh Giddy situation that's been looming over the social media atmosphere and sports atmosphere, and a bunch of independent channels are talking about it, which has forced ESPN to talk about it with a whole bunch of people calling out Malika Andrews and Stephen A. Smith. And he came out and protected himself and Malika Andrews from the onslaught of people calling them out. But now it's more obvious than ever. The next move is for black men in general to stop supporting ESPN. Do not watch any of the shows on ESPN. This is now more than ever with social media and the advent of social media. It's now more than ever a more critical time to just stop watching ESPN. With them showing the blatant double standard they have against black men and the biasness towards quote unquote other men when these type of stories come out, they don't ask questions. They don't stop to ask questions or wait until information comes out later on about the stories when it comes to black men. But Stephen A made sure he made it a point to come out when he protected Malika Andrews to say, we don't know all the facts yet. We can't really speak on the Josh Giddy situation. What he was really saying is they fear repercussion and they fear lawsuits when it comes to quote unquote the Josh Giddy situation. In layman's terms, if it's a white dude, we fear being sued. If it's a black dude, it's open season on him because we could talk about him how we want to. Because there's not been any black professional athletes that have had stories come out on them of assault, sexual assault allegations, R word allegations, um, any type of misconduct, especially with Stephen A. talking about weed, anything like that. They don't wait till the facts come out with any black athletes. It's just as soon as they hear the story, it comes out. With this Von Miller story, the morning the story dropped on social media, they broke news on every ESPN segment they had on every show. They broke segments just to make sure they got this story out there. It took them a full week to talk about the Josh Giddy situation, and they tiptoed around that. They made sure they had to get it out because everybody was talking about it. But for years, it's been this way. Even if you look like way back at the Josh Brown situation, some people wouldn't even know who that is. That was the punter for the New York Giants who was beating the hell out of his wife for years, and it finally came out. They spent like one day on that story. When the Chad Willis situation came out, they spent like 1 or 2 days on this story, and they were forced to talk about it because the same thing that happened with the Josh Giddy and Von Miller situation, is what happened with that. Chad Wheeler almost beat that woman to death. That's what forced them to talk about it because so many people was asking why you're not talking about it. So they finally started to talk about it. And for Stevie A to come out and say on the Von Miller situation when it first broke, that first I want to get out and say that no man should put his hands on a woman. Yeah, you got suspended last time you tried to say women shouldn't put their hands on men either, but that's a different story for a different day. But you made sure you got that out there. You wanted to tiptoe around and say, but we got this NBA situation where, we got to tiptoe. We got to make sure we're careful about the words we Bro, it's been so many NBA players and NFL players. This dude's just come out and trash so much. He refused to talk about Aaron Rodgers when he quote unquote didn't want to take the vaccine, but he made Kyrie his personal punching bag for a year and a half. When Alex Caruso got caught smuggling weed into Texas on the Texas airport, he had nothing to say about that. But he stuck on what was my man name? Josh Gordon. He stuck on Josh Gordon forever, talking about his weed habit out the field. Stay off the weed. Didn't say that about any of the white players getting caught. Ray Rice, he got taught his lesson about that when Michelle Beadle and Kerry Champion went to the front office on him and got him suspended. But yeah, it's back to the point. It's just time for black men in general just to stop supporting ESPN. It's way more than enough channels to get your sports fix from and get your sports news from. You really don't need ESPN to get your sports news. You got you got Instagram, Facebook, Bleacher Report. You got a whole bunch of other websites and or apps to get your information. You don't need ESPN. We don't need ESPN. There's no need for us to even tune into ESPN. We know now, we've known for a long time. ESPN pushes these stories out when it comes to black men. They want black men to be the faces of misconduct in general when it comes to these topics. Whenever it's a white athlete, it's never a major topic. They brush it over, even if it's not even if it doesn't even have anything to do with an athlete. Take the Dana White situation when he slapped his wife and there was video of it. They kind of protected the dude. I don't even think they had a topic about it. Even if they did, it was like 30, 40 seconds and they brushed it away. But when it's any black athlete, they stay on it for days and days and run the story into the ground. And with this situation, you got plenty of people coming out and talking about it. And it's so much obvious now more than ever. Just ESPN, black men shouldn't support it. We shouldn't watch it. We shouldn't tune into it because now we know what it's about. It's too many. It's been too many instances where black men have just been. They've had their careers almost ruined, whether the story is true or not. Like the dude, I forgot the dude's name. I think his name was Mason Foster, something like that. Linebacker for the Redskins. It was his girlfriend came out with a accusation on him that he beat her up, assaulted her in some way. Got kicked off the Redskins. Never made his way back into the NFL. Come to find out, the story wasn't even true. But you didn't have these people come on and try to save the dude's career and say, "Nah, that story that we reported wasn't even true." But with this being said, mass exodus. It's time for that. With this sports news station, it's been time for years, and now's the time more than ever because everybody sees it. Like the curtains open on it. The robe has been taken off of it. It's stripped. They put it out for you, cut and dry. They told you what they about. They about protecting white athletes and demonizing black athletes. The black it's like seven all these old NBA and NFL are 70% black athletes, but they demonize them any chance they get when it comes to any type of misconduct off the field. When it's a white athlete, they ain't got nothing to say about it. And the people now that protect Stephen A, it is what it is. You keep tuning in, you keep watching, but I'm done watching ESPN. I refuse to tune into another topic to have. Even with Shannon Sharp on them, I kept Shannon on his nightcap shows with Ocho. FS1 kind of fell off, but I watch FS1 before I watch this trash again. Ain't no coming back from this dude. I'm done with ESPN. I mean, comment below the people that watch it. Let me know how you feel about it, but I'm done with ESPN.